Hi, welcome to Joy on Paper Live, a program for writers and those who dream of writing, and for everyone who wants to know the story behind the book. I am so happy today to do a very special thank you program to Lawrence Block and his daughter, Jill Block. Of course, Larry is a Mystery Writer of America Grand Master and the author of many series that I'm sure that you've read. If you haven't read, you've probably seen some of the movies. So Matthew Scudder, Bernie Rodenbauer, and more. Now, why I'm doing this very special program is that over the years, as I got to know Larry, he was so kind to me and so generous with his time, advice, and encouragement. And when the 7th anniversary of Joy on Paper came along, he wrote this wonderful testimonial, which we used for our press release. And I'm going to read it. I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm going to read it. It is. I thought it was so sweet of him. It says, Patsy and Joy on Paper constitute a national treasure for writers and readers. Has it been only 7 years? Well, now it's been 9 years. How did we ever get along without her? Well, that is such a kind and sweet testimonial. So I wanted to thank him for that. And to do that, I decided to make a video for him. And so here's the video. And then I'll talk about him after.
The strangest feeling to know what to believe in. 'Cause every time you touch me, I can't control my body. Oh, baby, you are on my mind. All I think about, and I don't wanna stop. I don't wanna stop. Could you come closer to me? I just can't resist you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. It's like we're in a movie. I don't know how you do it. Oh, I look into your eyes and everything is different. Oh, baby, you are on my mind. All I think about, and I don't wanna stop. I don't wanna stop. Could you come closer to me? I just can't resist you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you.
Well, that was so much fun for me to make that. Really, one of the things that I wanted to tell people when I started this program, and the reason I started it really, is AI is coming in and AI is taking over so much. And it is so important for people to know more about the authors that they love and to follow them and to discover more authors that maybe they've never heard about. Now, with Lawrence Block, who is a mystery writer of America Grandmaster, now he is so wonderful and he has been so kind to me. So I did that video. It my video. I created it. Now, of course, out there, people are getting a lot of, well, actually, people are spending a lot of money on on AI videos, but they're not made with love. They're made, you know, they don't understand really the book. They don't understand the author. And I knew that this little trailer, this little book trailer, touches the important things that are part of the book. Now, this is a standalone, and it's a wonderful book. It's a more adult book, uh, a little bit different from his other series, but his series are wonderful, and I hope that you will check him out. One of the great things about Larry is that he was one of the first people to really the first authors to embrace the internet. So he has a wonderful website, and here I am with him at a convention in St. Petersburg at the Vinoy Hotel, and that's his daughter Jill. And I was so thrilled. He was the first Mystery Writer of America Grandmaster that I actually met in person. I'd spoken to a few before I talked to him, and since then I've spoken to 12 Mystery Writer of America Grandmasters, and it's been fun, to get to know them and to help them promote their books. Because even if they're famous, even if they're selling a lot of books, they need to continue. What happens, and this is life, you hear about a book, it comes out, and for an author, a book comes out, and then that's it. They have a window of opportunity if they're published by a big house. They, are given so many weeks to get out there and push their book. Um, and the bigger you are, the more support you get, which is, sometimes, it seems unfair. They give a lot of support to the global best-selling authors, but not so much in the ones who are sort of mid-range. So it's difficult. It's time-consuming to promote a book. It's hard on the nerves. And when you think about who authors are, they are people who are thinking, and they love to sort of just be in their cave writing and living with their characters that are have taken taken up space in their heads. They just want to write. And in the old days, of course, writers didn't have to do that much, although there have been authors who have certainly understood the need for publicity. Hemingway was one of the ones who really knew how to get publicity. But for most authors, even with the big houses, they just don't know how to do it, and it's stressful. And so when I started this program, I didn't realize that when I started the program, I didn't know, that it was stressful. I thought, well, easy. You're getting paid to go and, go here and go there. And that's not true. Unless you're very big. Yeah, you are paying for yourself, and you are taking yourself up and spending a lot of time on this. So it's very, very difficult. I just want people to appreciate sometimes when they're reading a book, they say, oh, wow, nothing, they don't think about the process of getting there. And that's good, because authors don't want you to think about anything about how they got that, you got that book in your hand. They want you to just immerse yourself in the book, fall in love with their characters, and for a little while live with their characters. That for some of the authors, these characters have been in their heads for years and years. Sometimes it's taken that long even to get published the first book. And then if they're doing a series, well, you can imagine how many years of getting to know characters who are in your head and who just keep popping up, sometimes at the breakfast table, and sometimes just before you're ready to go to sleep. They have ideas for the next book. So it's a process, and it's fun, but it's a difficult process too. Now with Larry, of course, when Larry first came on the program was for one of his books, and then shortly after that he started contacting me because he got involved in creating anthologies. Now I love anthologies, and you get to learn so much about writers from reading anthologies. The comparison, you compare one style, and in every anthology, now of course being Larry Block, he can get any author to submit a story, and most of the books have 18 or 20 stories in them, and so he gets people to do the stories and submit stories, and the famous ones, of course, are do it, because they know him. But what he does is he reaches out and looks for new talent. Now, that one of the kindest things to do really in the world is to do exactly what he's doing. Mix the famous ones with the less famous ones, and so often those less famous ones today become the really, really, really famous ones, 10 years later. So and somebody like Larry Block has a good eye for talent. So if he has included someone in his anthologies, the story is going to be good. And that's why I think, when you're coming at, the holidays, and particularly Mother's Day and Father's Day, there's an anthology out there that is just perfect, because it's just a nice little additional, if you're going to give a tie for Father's Day, well, put it in a book in the box, and the same for a mother. There are so many books out there that are just wonderful, but the anthologies, everybody's sure to find at least one or two authors they already know, and then discover many more. So that's why I love anthologies, and I hope that you'll think about getting those at Mother's Day and Father's Day, because it's coming up. Now, one of the things for me, I consider Larry Block a golden thread. That means I as I said, I knew his books before I ever. I mean, I never even dreamt that one day I would be talking to him. I just loved his books. I loved his series. Um, and it's just so funny how so many things, because his books are set in New York City, so many of the places he walks, so many of the places he goes to are places that I've been to. And this was particularly true in the case of his daughter. Now, his daughter, she participated in the anthologies. So she submitted the story, one or two of them, and then she wrote her own book. And it's called The Truth About Parallel Lines. Now, wow, this book is so clever. It's so much fun. It's so interesting. It has perhaps one of the best two opening sentences ever written. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic when you read the sentences, you say, "Oh wow, you're in for a treat with this book," and that's what happened with me. So, what I particularly love, again, it's set in New York, and I love books set in New York City, and whether it's olden day New York City, as so often Larry Block's are, or modern New York. And The Truth About Parallel Lines by Jill Block is a great read. I did this little graphic for her. I think it captures the essence of the book. It's got humor, and it's touching and just delightful. And I've eaten it, I think, in every restaurant that she mentions there. Yep, absolutely. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful read, and that's more or less what I do. I look for those golden threads when I'm talking to authors, and I am connected to so many of them in so many ways. Um, I might have stayed in the same hotel. I might have been in the same town at the same time. I might know somebody they know. I just discovered so many wonderful golden ties, and it's been fun for 9 years. I've been doing this, interviewing on the radio. And that brings me to what I want to ask you. If you would please subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would really help. I don't know too much about this business yet. I sort of jumped into it just like I jumped into doing the radio program. I hadn't had any experience, but I did it because I heard somebody doing a bad interview with an author that I knew his books very well. I had read every one of his books since he started writing, and the interview I thought was just awful. And I felt the author must have been I don't know, hurt that somebody would not appreciate what he had done and what he had written. So that's why I started the radio program, and I decided that once at 4:15 in the morning. So I'll tell you about that one day. But that idea of just jumping in because I saw a need, and at the time, for radio. And the reason I now am doing the YouTube channel is so that I can let you see the authors, not just hear them, but see them, and make that connection, that human connection, that they are people who love their work. They are people who, when I use the word joy, joy on paper for the writer and joy on paper for the reader, it's important. And finding this joy, being a real, a real human being, using real human emotions, and hopefully understanding humanity a little bit and trying to make it better and trying to bring people together in some way with stories that, as old as time, getting together and telling stories and sharing stories. And all of the authors that I invite on Joy on Paper are exactly that. They're storytellers, and they have a story to tell. And whether it's fiction or nonfiction, or whether it's a self-help book or a, a book of a book of poetry, of course, and children's books, which I love. And at the end of um, every one of these programs, I will have a, just a a plea, a request that you think about submitting, and not submitting, no, that's the wrong word, um, just donating a, a book to a children's hospital, either one near you or to Shriners or to St. Jude's, because children in the hospital need books. They really, really need books. It's so important. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you. And then I wanted to, as you see, I have a Patreon account. Now, I don't know, when I started this, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with Patreon. I don't like asking for money. I've never asked for money. I have never received money from an author, a publicist, or a publisher. And so many authors are, they're just inundated with all sorts of offers that cost money, and authors can't afford it. They really can't. Most authors can't afford it. So these this interviews that I'm doing, all the interviews I'm doing, I just do them because I love the books and I want to share my feelings about the books. Nobody, nobody tells me what books to select. I select the books. I'm very eclectic. I'm diverse. I have all books from all types of people and from all subjects because I just love books. And that's as simple as that. And I know because I had 6,342 books, and I've read over 10,000 books. Well, by the time I started the show, and now I've read, of course, more. So I have Patreon there because I am going to upload the interviews from the radio program. I wanted them to be in one place so that you could use them as a learning tool, as a way to get inspired. Listen to the words of the authors as they talk about their books. And when you hear how inspiring, they're inspiring. They want to tell their stories, and they want you to tell your stories. So if you haven't started writing yet, I hope that you'll learn. And if you are a writer, you will also learn, because you will learn about some of the sort of the backstory of how an author, and authors struggle. It's not easy to be a writer. People think it's as easy, you just sit there all day. It's not. It doesn't go quite like that, and any author will tell you that. So that's why I want to upload all of my interviews, radio interviews, but it's free. There's no cost to you. You can just go there and start. I have so many that I can only upload maybe 3 or 4 a week, but go there and get inspired. And because people asked to donate, I I'm putting a $5 donation, but that's the limit. You can't donate more. You can't. It doesn't matter. I don't want whether it's you know if Lee Child wants to donate and he's done his birthday interviews on my program, he can donate $5. If you want to donate, you can donate $5. But I want the same amount of money from everybody, because it's like when I first started, people said, "Well, charge those rich authors. Why don't you charge those rich authors?" And I said, "How can I charge those rich authors? That's be silly." "Well, then charge the other ones." I said, "Well, that would be mean, because I can't decide today. Say an author comes to me and it's their first book, and I'm going to charge them. I don't know. 5 years later, they might be best-selling authors, and they'll look back at me and they say, 'Oh, you meanie, you charged me $500 or something when I had no money.'" So I don't charge anybody. I don't get any money from authors, publishers, publicists, book promoters, not at all. Um, but I will take your $5 maximum if you can spare it. But don't worry, everything's free there. Only sort of there's this human nature that you want to do something good for somebody, just just as a thank you. Sort of like I did this video, and I do lots of videos for authors. I did it free. No, he didn't pay me. I just did it because I love him, and I wanted to make a video to promote his book. And I do that for a lot of authors, and just like I make the graphics. So it's $5 maximum, but everything is actually free. The only thing I'm going to be charging for, I will be charging for a book club that I want to do. It's called the micro memoir. And the reason I'm going to charge $18 a month for that is that, and it's limited to a very small number of people, because I will personally be emailing and supporting and encouraging and giving suggestions. I'm not sure. I was thinking 20, maybe 30 people maximum that I can handle. And those are micro memoirs. I have lots of great ideas for you if you want to do a micro memoir. So that's the only thing I'll be charging. The rest is $5. You can go to Patreon. Starting tomorrow, I'll put that up. But meanwhile, today, what you can do, if you want to help, I would love, I'm not against getting money. I would like, but I like some big money from somebody big. Well, not somebody, it's a company, couple of companies that are big, and that, my little budget would mean nothing to them. But I need a couple of $1,000s a month, so so I can do some of this editing of the radio program. But again, from you, I only want $5 a month if you can spare it. If not, just go to Patreon and get inspired. And there's going to also be a lot of free things on Patreon, absolutely free. Little novellas from some authors, short stories from others. So there's going to be quite an interesting collection of material. Really, it is your little mini university on writing. So that's my Patreon. And as to YouTube, I quite don't, it's not all clear to me how this happens. I know that if you subscribe, that's really great. If you like it and share it and do something else, that's also great. I think what I would really like is, I like comments, because I'd like to hear from you about the authors you want me to invite on Joy on Paper Live. If you send me a comment that a particular book really helped you, perhaps changed your life, well, write it in the comments and tell me. And if you have favorite authors, I'm going to select, and here's what I'm going to do to really make this interesting. I am going to select just fans. I want to bring fans onto the program. So if you have an author that you really like, you really want to, hear from, and if you're like the first one to suggest that author, I will then invite you to join us on the program, to join us right here on Joy on Paper, and talk to your favorite author in, well, as in person as we can get online. Anyway, that's all for today. I want to again thank you so much for joining me today on Joy on Paper Live. And you can find out about our upcoming guests on joyonpaperlive.com. And I have some great guests coming up: Douglas Brunt, Tasha Alexander, Andrew Child, and oh, I've got some really fantastic ones. I can't quite release the dates yet, but I will let you know. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today on Joy on Paper Live. And please check out Lawrence Block's website. He has a wonderful blog and newsletter, so check him out. Anyway, bye now.